I think that the biggest challenge that we have faced is effectively responding to the needs of businesses and industry for talented, well-trained workers. And to understand this point fully, you have to think about the context of business and industry. They have obviously been squeezed in every possible way, being forced to become more productive, being forced to become more innovative, and flat organizations streamlining their costs in every possible way. And so they look at human resources as one of their critical elements. The more they have to expend to find the workers they need, and the more they have to train them once they get them, those are costs that they have to incur. And obviously, the more they can avoid those costs by hiring workers who are ready to go with the skills they need, then the more efficient and effective they can be. So the impact of that on higher education has been to create a great deal of pressure to focus our programs on meeting as much of these needs as on pre-training, if you will, the needs of business industry, and that has resulted, I think, in the growth you've seen of dramatic growth of alternative delivery systems, outcome-based delivery systems, content based instead of competency based, instead of seat time based. I think a lot of the growth in the for-profit sector has been driven as well by this sense of meeting specific credentialing needs, as opposed to the broader, as opposed to we teach what we think students need to learn, and then they go out into the world, and then businesses finish their training. I think there's a lot of pressure, a lot of pushback on that kind of approach, and it's having a very significant impact in the changes and the challenges that we've had. I think another significant impact obviously is cost. The growth rate of costs at your more traditional institutions, I think, is unsustainable. The notion of the comprehensive institutions that are teaching everything, and that every school has every department, and every school is has a research center in every 150. Go to a website of a basic institution, 150 centers and institutes and all sorts of those types of programs. In our state, certainly I find that if there's external support for this type of cost and activity, then that's fine. But often there's not, and rather they expect that the taxpayers, through the state or federal taxes, are going to pick up those kinds of expenses, and through subsidizing students or through subsidizing institutions. And I think that that's just simply not a realistic expectation anymore. So it requires a focus on efficiency and effectiveness, and also on focus on those areas that institutions really do have an opportunity to be unique and to be successful in.